folks, welcome back to Heard on the X. I absolutely had to play that one. I had to play that song.
Yeah.
Because the first family of drumming is here. The Rockdashian family is here. Derrick, Jenna, and Ron Rocco all here. Hi, guys.
Hi.
How's it in that studio? Is it blazing hot?
It's all right.
Oh, no, really? Because I'm telling you right here, you could cook a pig right now. I think Jimmy might be here. Is that just how you smell today?
Oh, yeah.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Good. Great. How are you?
So, I don't know where to start. You guys, Ron, you're a Buffalo music living legend. I mean, Buffalo, Rochester. You're one of my favorite drummers. You've got a huge history. But for this Father's Day edition, you've brought your children with you, and they have been keeping the name alive, right? I mean, playing.
Absolutely. They're my pride and joy.
Yeah. So let's start with Jenna. And now you were in a band.
Yes.
And right now you're not doing anything.
No, nothing. I just sit home all day.
Well, no,
I like how you put that.
No, I didn't.
She sits home and just eats gummy bears and watches SpongeBob.
I didn't mean it to sound like that. So really, you're just doing nothing now, right?
Yeah.
No.
You are washed up.
Yeah, because you retired.
Washed up musician. No, I did. From 14 to 19 is that was my prime in music. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. So it's been a little bit, but I do still sit in with my dad's band when they play.
And your band was?
Jinxed, it was called.
And there was a certain amount of national success with this band, correct?
Yeah, we did Comedy Central. We were at the house band for Premium Blend, and did our CD in LA and some stuff with Kiss 98.5 locally. So it was fun.
So tell me about the Premium Blend gig. What was the show about?
It's a stand-up comedian thing. It's a half-hour show. It's still on now. We were on the season with Jamie Kennedy was the host. He used to do the Scream movies, and so he was the host that season. And we just kind of played above the comedians, on the intros and outros of each show.
Kind of like
I remember that show. I used to watch that all the time.
Yeah.
So how'd you get that gig?
That was through our record label. We were signed to a indie label called 111 Records based out of Orlando. And our manager actually was in a boy band. He was in LFO. I don't know if anybody remembers the Abercrombie and Fitch
Oh, yeah,
song,
Abercrombie and Fitch.
I'm sure Jimmy knows this.
I remember that.
Do you?
Yeah, that was our manager. So he got us that deal, and we taped over. We did 12 episodes in 3 days at John Jay College in the city, and it was fun.
So it was a great experience.
Absolutely, yeah.
And now you're all washed up.
I am.
No, let me tell you something. Every musician does exactly what you're doing. You play for a while, you stop, you figure out what's going on, and then before you know it, you'll be doing it again, and you'll be frustrated and aggravated and going, what am I doing?
Right.
Why am I doing it? Ask your dad. I mean, that's how it works.
Yeah.
And now your brother is also a drummer, and Derrick, you're a teacher.
Yeah, I've been teaching since 2009 at the Extreme Drum and Guitar School in East Amherst.
Do you have a band together?
I was playing with the Soul Providers for a little bit, doing some work with them, but right now I'm just kind of in between doing some studio work and teaching mainly.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Teaching's a hard gig.
Yeah, it's challenging, but it keeps you moving.
You learn a lot too. I mean, you really
crazy.
a lot of the stuff that you take for granted. I remember when I first started teaching guitar, a lot of the stuff that you take for granted that just makes sense to you for some reason in your head.
Mm-hmm.
When you have to explain it to somebody and you're explaining, certain concepts to make a minor chord or whatever the case may be, you take for granted, oh yeah, that is how you make a minor chord. And you end up learning a lot that way.
Yeah, there's something about watching somebody struggle with stuff as they're coming up, that just keeps you moving forward and always realizing there's always the next step.
It's funny too when you're dealing with students because you can have 4 students and you're explaining the same concept to all 4 of them, but you have to explain it different ways to every single one of them to get them to get it. I mean, it's an amazing talent to be able to teach.
Yeah, no, I feel very blessed. I mean, I do seem to have a pretty good knack for it, and my students do a very good job. And I teach about 30-something students a week right now.
Good for you.
Yeah, it's pretty much what I do. So
that's excellent.
Yeah, it's a good time.
That's excellent. And then, of course, you guys realize that we're going to have you sign a release, and you're going to be on a reality show we're starting.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right, sounds good.
You guys should do something together as like the drumming family. That would be a trip.
I have thought about that.
Oh my God, Ron, it would be amazing. You really should. Like, who was it that we just saw? Carmine Apiece is doing this it's kind of like a stomp thing. It's
Jenna was
Blast, right?
Blast. That's what it's called. Yeah.
I met with Carmine. I met him on Transit for the first time, and I had told him on the phone that some people thought I looked a little bit like him, and he made me walk around the table and he goes, "Dude, you do look like me." And then at the end, he made Jenna play for him, and he was just forming his Broadway show. And the last thing I remember was Carmine telling her to, Jenna, call me. And she just never followed through on it.
Because she's washed up.
Oh, that's right. Because she's a has-been now.
She's a rockdashian, I guess. That's
yeah, well, you know what it is? We have Carmine on a lot on the show. So I'm going to make sure I'm going to have him call you. We'll call you from the show. Put you on the air with him.
Sounds good.
Yeah, except for the problem with, have you ever talked to him on the phone?
No.
He is deafer than deaf. Oh my God, he's beyond the normal. Yeah. No. He makes him seem like he has perfect hearing. I mean, this guy's like superbly deaf. He's just unbelievably deaf. Yeah, that blast thing's pretty cool. You guys could do something like that.
We saw that, I think, when I was like 12.
We saw Stomp.
No, his is not. Blast. His is not Stop, and it's not Blast. It's something else. It really is a different name, but it's. He was very nice to her. We were talking at breakfast, and I was telling him about me, and he's, call your daughter. He didn't want to hear anything I had to say.
Right.
So I got her to come down.
Jess, you looked that up and see what it is.
Yeah, it's not.
I thought it was Blast.
No, we saw Blast. I took my kids to that, and that was before Carmine's.
Yeah, we seen it at the NAMM show.
It's Smash or something like
that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I thought Blast was coming back around. Didn't he come back here recently and do one? Didn't he do one at Shea's? Or didn't Blast come through Shea's? I want to say last.
I think the last time Carmine came here was. He's touring with everybody. He's touring with Michael Schenker. He's touring with Cactus. He had Cactus out.
He's got something new going on. Oh, I can't remember what it is, but Teddy Reinhardt and I bought into his lesson when he was here. He made me play for a few seconds. Most of the kids in the class were beginners, and as myself and Teddy were. And I played for a few seconds. He goes, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "I came here to learn, your style." He goes, "Go sit over there." And then Teddy sat down, and even less time went by. And he goes, "What are you doing here?" And Teddy goes, "Well, I just want to take your class." And he goes, "Go sit over in the corner with him." Which is a memory that I cherish, because Carmine, to me, is... he was one of my rock gods when I was growing up. I've got his book.
He's the man. He's got the best book. Lesson book you're talking about, or is
Realistic Rock.
Yeah, that's the best.
Who's ever
absolutely the best. I think it's the best method, period, for learning techniques. And he's a great guy. He got Bonham his Ludwig endorsement was Carmine. That's who got Bonham the Ludwig endorsement. He's an amazing guy, and what a storied history he has. I mean. And the funny thing is when you see him, Vanilla Fudge, that's the other band. He was just here with Vanilla Fudge at the Trough. Yep. When you see him, he's still, he's got to be getting close to 70. He has to be.
It's funny that you bring that up, because I was pulling into Roy Evans for breakfast. That's where I was meeting him. I saw him get out of his car. He walked, hunched over, very slow. I said, "Oh my God." As soon as I walked in the building, he's up and crisp.
Yeah.
So he can
turn it off and on.
Yes.
Yeah. Even at the show, he's kind of that way. He's a little bit.
He can play.
Oh my God.
He can still rock. When you get back there, he's 22 years old.
Absolutely.
That thing that he does is called slam.
Slam. That's what it is.
I said smash, slam.
Yeah. That's it. I knew it was something like that. That was pretty cool though. We seen it. Kim and I seen it at the NAMM show. I think we were at a Megadeth show or something. They opened a Megadeth show for it. But it was pretty cool, and he's by all means cool.
The show in Anaheim?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, we go out there every year with the drum school. So.
Do you?
Yeah.
We broadcast from there every year,
good.
Every single year. Yeah, we'll be there again this year.
Yeah, it's awesome.
We'll get you on the show. We'll get all you guys on the show.
That'd be killer. Yeah, no, it's just the drum school that we always go and take a trip, but that is an incredible place to be.
Yeah. It was actually, matter of fact, have you ever been to any of the shows at the Grove of Anaheim?
No, we usually do, we'll go to the Sabian night, how they throw,
right.
I think Tony Reiser Jr. played there, and
right.
a bunch of different.
Those are usually at, the Hilton, though?
Yeah, right outside of
the Grove is about a mile away from the convention center, and it holds about 6,000 people.
Oh, wow.
It's huge. It's this huge place. Dean, he's got a huge affiliation with D-Drum.
Oh, okay, cool.
So Dean throws these massive parties, and there's, Schenker will be there. Uli John Roth, who was the original guitar player from the Scorpions, was there. And believe it or not, Paul Gilbert was there, even though he was an Ibanez guy, just because it was a bunch of guitar heads.
Michelangelo.
Yeah, Michelangelo Badio was there. And Carmine's always playing drums with all of them. And Elliot, the guy who owns Dean, is a bass player.
Oh,
so,
really?
and it's the coolest thing in the world, because he's on tour with all these guys. He's He's the guy that owns Dean Guitars.
I know. When you get there, it's just like everywhere you bump into somebody, it's like somebody that you're just like.
The first 30 minutes that you're there, Mick Hayes went for the first time this year, and we were talking. He's like, "So what do I got to know?" I said, "Mick, you're going to be completely overwhelmed for the first 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, an hour, then you chill out, and it's like, oh, yeah, there's Neil Sean. What do you do?"
Yeah, it almost desensitizes you.
It does after a while.
It's almost like a bummer because, like, you know, I remember we left watching. Who was it? I'm trying to think. It was either. I think Tony Royster just finished up, and Mike Portnoy was going on, and we left to go see Bernard Purdy play drums. It was just like, you know what I mean? They have to make those decisions. It was like
Bernard Purdy is always hanging out at this independent drum case snare drum company.
Oh, yeah.
And he just sits there and plays. It's the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah.
We talk about desensitized. We went to this Ernie Ball thing, and Ernie Ball's a big sponsor of the show, so we had to go, and it's an honor to have Ernie Ball sponsor the show, you know. So we went. It was this 50th anniversary Guitar Gods thing. It was Albert Lee and Steve Morris and
Joe Bonamassa.
Joe Bonamassa, and then it was Steve Vai, and we left before Vai even came on because it's just like,
I know.
I just need a drink.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like too much inspiration at once. You just start thinking, you're like, oh, it's just...
You're overloaded. Yeah. The funny thing there, too, and I know I got to take a commercial break, but the funny thing is, all the lookalike people, the people that go there that are so creepy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I must have seen...
It's insane.
I must have seen. Remember the one year we seen like 900 Zakk Wyldes, and these guys look exactly like them. It's like there was in plastic surgery or something to look like these people.
All
It's
these
crazy.
Like they're going to get endorsements by like blaring on the.
Yeah.
Rich, after the show, I got to tell you what Zakk Wylde said. I mean, I can't even say this in the same street. What he said to my daughter is advice in rock and roll. I could never say it on the radio, but
you can't clean it up because we're going to take a commercial break. There's no way to clean it up. Tell me on the way back. Okay, all right. Then there'll be an off there. We're going to take a short pause, come back and talk to Ronnie about his long history in rock and roll. Stick around, folks. Heard it on the X.